got good news, specifically with the display network as far as I'm concerned, but kind of like the Google ecosystem at large. Google 5 days ago giving advertisers more control over where their ads run. Here's what they said. We've heard from some of our partners that current tools in place for blocking web pages or websites require dedicated resources and regular updating. Yes. So in case you don't know, let me pause there. The Google Display Network is the most prolific thing on the internet. It's effectively the internet in so many ways. It reaches 90% of all internet users on the planet. Wow. And it reaches 65% of those people on a daily basis. Like, right? So it's reaching everybody. But it's really tough for small businesses to use. As a matter of fact, I would say that the Google Display Network is the biggest missed opportunity in the small business advertising space because it's an immense amount of traffic. It's hyper quality traffic. It can be segmented by interest, so it's ultra specific, and it's cheap. And you think like, check. I love all of those things. Let me use it. But the minute you open it up, it's overwhelming because Google has not allowed us the tools necessary to segment algorithmically. So they're not playing the same games Facebook is playing as far as interest-based segmentation or demographic segmentation. Now they could. They have the data. But I think they're not doing it because, I think they're not doing it because they don't want people to know. Like, they don't want to lift the veil, as much as they pretend to care about privacy. Like, they have insane amounts of information. And the minute we're able to target on levels, that granular and that specific, I think it's just going to freak people out. So they've tempered that a little bit, and I think wisely so. That's probably a good decision, not to let everybody know that Big Brother's watching and to what extreme. But it's left us at a disadvantage because now if you're trying to play inside of the display network, if you're spending enough money, you can spend yourself into optimization. And I've seen that happen with one client in particular. He's selling info products, and he's running broad GDN, but he's doing so through a really solid form of conversion optimization because he's spending, very healthy 5-figure numbers. Over time, Google was able to say and we know who it is that you're working with. So I've seen the same thing work in Facebook where you don't have a segment at all. You just say, here's my conversion, go to everybody, and Facebook will optimize your campaign over time, but you have to buy that privilege. You have to spend into it. And the Google Display Network is so expansive that you have to spend a lot. And most small businesses can't afford that gamble. And it's still a gamble, right? There's no guarantee that you get to the end of that and it's actually working. And so we've just been left to our own devices, which is trying to instead, because we can't target proactively the way that we'd want to. And I shouldn't say can't. I mean, there's some levels of targeting available, in market affinity and specific channels and websites if we want to, but it's not the same. It's not the same categorical isolation that other networks are allowing. Or that you would need in order to not say, I want this individual website and this individual website and this individual website. So with that targeting unavailable, it's been really difficult to use GDN because now you have to go in and just say, you're blocking every single individual website and app that you don't want. And apps, by the way, are the real killer. Like, when we're running GDN, we just go through and wholesale block all the apps because it's such crap traffic. And I'm sure there's gems in there, I'm sure, but it's just too hard to find. And so, things like what I'm doing wholesale, that's probably not an advisable model. But it's the only thing that we had given our size and our inability to manage our exclusion list on a real-time basis. So the feedback that Google has gotten is feedback that I've had and that we've all probably struggled with if you played with the GDN. So what they're allowing us to do is they say they're rolling out dynamic exclusion lists. And these are lists that can be updated seamlessly and continuously over time. Cool. And the lists can be created by advertisers themselves or by a third party they trust. Now, first of all, there's a whole business here. There's a whole business for somebody that wants to go and make industry-specific exclusion lists. And, I don't know how much money you'd make at it, but I know that there's something there. And even if you weren't to do that, I think that if you want to break into a niche, if you really want to get in front of certain customers, especially customers that are in the Google Ads space, this is a hell of a lead magnet. For people that know what it is you're offering, it's a huge value. Think about the folks that really spend on Google Ads. So medical professionals, attorneys, any professional services, automotive groups, those types of folks. Imagine creating an industry-specific exclusion list. And it would have to be industry-specific, by the way. I don't see any way around that. We could have a wholesale underlying blanket exclusion list, but there's just too many nuanced changes to account for. But if you had an industry-specific exclusion list, and you could sell that to people, you could give it to people and just say, hey, I'm providing this to everybody in the automotive space. Would love the opportunity to review your accounts, that type of thing. I think it's a huge way to give first, build trust, build reciprocity, and earn a customer. So super cool. One thing that confuses me though, I is confused. They can schedule automatic updates as new web pages or domains are added. They can schedule updates. Like, that's weird to me, because I thought when I read that it was going to be like a live feed, like an active, ongoing, updated feed. And if we're scheduling these updates, then it makes me wonder like how this connection is happening, what the port looks like, the way that the list needs to be delivered. Because I mean, really, I can upload an exclusion list in Google Ads now, so that's not much different than scheduling it, unless I guess the schedule's automated, but that feels one step removed from like really actively managed. The other thing is I don't have this. So if you go up to tools, placement exclusion list, I'm assuming this is where this is going to live, but right now I don't have the ability to create or add or connect a dynamic exclusion list, and I don't know like what that's going to look like. I would assume we're connecting to a feed, but I don't know. So if you have this in your account, please let me know, because I want to see it. I want to play with it. And if you haven't seen this, by the way, this is where we go to build our exclusion list. So you can exclude specific YouTube channels, videos, websites, apps, and app categories. The app categories is interesting. It lets me know that Google knows like what crap traffic is inside of apps, because it's the only facet of their ecosystem that they allow us to exclude categorically. And then we've got bulk placement exclusions if we want, and then you can always upload. Where did the upload go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, you can always upload an exclusion list. So upload a file or Google Sheets, and I wonder if this is it. I wonder if it's just going to be like just choose a new source, and the source will be like somebody who's providing like an XML file or whatever it ends up being. I don't know, but super cool. Could mean a lot for the display network long term. The issue there, though, is you need to be careful. So here's my cautionary tale. You have to trust the people that are creating your exclusion list. PPC Protect dropped this really awesome value bomb, which I promoted on my channel, where they gave people like 60,000 exclusions that they recommend adding. And it was awesome, because it was like, crap, I was never going to come up with all of those. But one of the commenters on my YouTube channel said, hey, I went through these, and like some of them are good. And it was funny. It prompted me to go back, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's right. Like there were some sites in there that, and I don't remember specifically offhand, but it was like, one of them was like BBC or something. And I was like, oh, that's a catastrophic error. Why are you excluding that? Doesn't make any sense. So not to bash PPC Protect, I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. I think it's like 99% value, but it's still not all things that I would want to exclude wholesale. So if somebody's creating a dynamic exclusion list for you and you're using it, you got to really trust them or inspect what you expect, which is kind of a, that's a chicken and egg scenario, because it's like, well, gosh, if I'm inspecting it, it's, I'm halfway to doing it. But at least it gets you halfway. So now I'm just talking for the sake of talking. Thank you for watching, by the way. I'm so excited about where our YouTube channel is. I shoot a video every day, in case you didn't know. And I also found out recently that subscribers are, that's the #1 key performance indicator YouTube is using in order to determine our relevance as a channel. And I don't know how true that is, but I heard it from somebody I trust. And so if you are receptive and you feel like we're providing value, I'd love to see you subscribe, because it kind of gives us the digital pat on the back that Google needs to see, like, oh, I should put these folks in front of more people, and it's just validating for me. It makes me all warm and fuzzy when I see our subscribers go. So hopefully it didn't sound like begging. I meant it more as just a polite ask. But otherwise, appreciate y'all watching, liking, commenting, all that good stuff. That's it. I will see you tomorrow.